Talking for Nobody podcast.
Welcome to this episode of the Talking for Nobody podcast. My name is Brandon.
My name is Dominic.
And today we are discussing the topic, why do we make content?
Yes. Like you said that like an infomercial. Just like,
yeah.
Hello everybody. Today, you sounded like you were on a children's TV show, which is appropriate because people on a children's TV show make content for children. That's the shittiest segue I'm ever gonna have, but we're rolling with it. So, why do we make content? What does this specifically entail?
I didn't really think about it. I guess
we would count this podcast as content.
Yeah.
So there's like this podcast, there's like our YouTube stuff. Would you count like specific thumbnails and images as content?
To some degree, I think so.
So like meme accounts. Like on Instagram. Okay. Although typically they're not content creators, they steal them, so they're art thieves.
Yeah.
So like images would count, so like our images and thumbnails as well as our own voices and videos, I guess. Yeah. And then streaming.
Yeah, we do a lot of shit.
Yeah, I know. No wonder we have no lives. But continue.
Yeah. So I don't know where this is going to go specifically.
Yeah.
But I know I have a few reasons jotted down.
Okay. Just in planning.
Yeah. So I think they generally don't have like a certain theme to them. They're just the reasons why I make content.
Yeah, exactly.
So
let's go with it.
I jokingly put this one down, but the more I think about it, the more it's true. I'm a low-key attention whore.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, isn't everybody at this point?
Yeah, I mean, Generation X making fucking TikToks every day, God, every hour.
Make me want to fucking end the fucking clock on TikTok so I can fucking end my life.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I was trying to say there. That was not good. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is TikTok sucks.
I got the joke, but it was bad.
Yeah, I know. It was. I had the punchline in my head, but it didn't work.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, I'm a low-key attention whore, and I think that's not a bad thing. It's just I like attention.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I would say most content creators are typically attention whores.
Yeah. I mean, look at fucking us. I was going to call like some YouTuber out or something, but I couldn't think of a name quick enough.
I thought you were going to say, look at those fucking TikTokers. I was like, again, back to the TikTok.
Just the entire podcast hating on TikTokers.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I would listen to like an hour of someone like shitting on TikTokers.
Like, I don't know any specific TikTok names.
Yeah, because they're all like 12-year-olds. Who gives a shit?
I know there's a few adult ones.
I can't wait for the TikTok/K-pop stan community to start hating on me because I said that.
I think I hate on all of us.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I have a TikTok account, but it's mainly just because everyone else had one, and I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, that's why most people seem to have them.
And I also wanted to sort of implement some characters that I haven't used onto that platform.
Mm-hmm.
But I just never got to it.
Yeah. Anyways, back to like not TikTok, but like the whole content creating medium.
Mm-hmm. Can we take a moment to define attention whore?
A whore. Just straight up like a dirty slut.
Well, a slut and a whore is different, I think.
What? They're the same thing, I think.
Are they?
I don't know. I think so. I need that like, Webster dictionary. Yeah, I think.
Like, I think a slut is somebody who enjoys sex.
No,
And
that's a nympho.
they'll go out of the... I was gonna fucking continue my thought here.
Okay, I know, but like, okay, continue. Sorry.
I think a slut is somebody who enjoys sex and doesn't necessarily go out of the way to do it, but if it happens, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
A whore is more of like, give me that dick.
Like, a whore just sounds dirtier, I guess.
I don't know. I might be completely wrong, but...
Okay, this is from Bungie.net. It's like a forum post, so like there's people responding to it. Yeah, this went into a weird direction. A whore is a prostitute. A slut is promiscuous. Okay, so like a whore, I guess. I guess a whore is like people who get paid for it, like a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
That's what these fucking forum people are saying.
I'm still questioning what the word promiscuous means, though.
I guess it's just like it.
No,
That's kind of it.
so I was kind of right.
Or like permission. I could see promiscuous being related to permission. Like they're just like, please. I'm glad that's now in my search history. So yeah. Anyways, so YouTube.
No, we didn't classify attention whore though.
Okay, so attention whore is someone. Well, in that case, by that logic, it's more attention whore is not a good term to put on someone who just really likes attention.
So we're attention sluts.
Yes. Absolutely. So yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we clarified that.
Okay, now we can move on. We are the attention. I just want a t-shirt now. If we make t-shirts, I always say this, if we make t-shirts and then followed by a stupid ass phrase. But if we do make t-shirts for this podcast, attention slut, number one thing I want.
I'm gonna design that shirt later.
Oh,
and
please.
If you think I'm joking,
I know you're not joking.
you're fucking wrong.
I'm trying to think of.
I would do it on air, but no.
You have the O in attention be like butthole.
Mm-hmm.
That just seems obvious. Anyways, so as attention sluts, we like to make content, but why exactly? Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty of why exactly we like to make content, because there's so many people that do it. I feel like that's something I kind of want to figure out here. Is I feel like a lot of people make content, but I don't know if many people know exactly why they do it. Like, I think they just kind of feel forced to do it.
I agree to that. I'm sure a lot of them do just feel forced and they just do it, but...
Like, I feel like it's almost like a way to... This is gonna sound weird, but like survive in the modern... created by Gen Z, the modern markets almost, if that makes sense.
I think I get that. Since you feel so highly of this topic, do you mind sharing one reason on why you create content?
Oh, because I'm an attention slut. No, well, I'm trying. I don't know. I kind of just. I'm trying to think of like why I started in the first place. Like, I started doing it as a way to escape, I guess. And that's another reason why a lot of people do it too, is because, why...
As a coping skill?
Yeah, as a coping, maybe. Maybe that's a good way to describe it, but I was thinking more like the world itself might be shit, right? Say you go to a standard 9-to-5 job, okay? You work in an office... And, you just fucking file taxes or whatever you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that's not a good job. That's not a noble job. That's not what I'm saying at all. People do that because we can't do math and we're lazy. We need those people. My uncle is one of those people. I'm not going to plug his shit, but just know he is. So, But I think that, like, when they can come home, right? So it's like 5, 6 o'clock, right? Say they hang out with the fam, the homie, the fam squad, with, like, their wives or their husbands and kids, and then they put them to bed, and then it's, like, super late at night. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to watch TV, or you're going to have a bit of fun. Start creating a world that you yourself can create. Which, I'm going to relate this to YouTube a lot throughout this entire topic. But, like, people on YouTube can escape because they create things. Like, I'm gonna use Bo Burnham as a reference for this. Like, when he was a kid, right? He went to YouTube, and sure, he's so far past YouTube now that it doesn't matter. But, like, when he was making videos, he, like, escaped into his own songs and his own music videos and what he could do and really shitty green screen effects, right? So you can create your own world and your own narrative, as opposed to being felt as though you are in your own, like, a bubble of the world around you, as opposed to your own head.
And I can see that. Me being a creator myself, to some extent, I've written things, and a lot of the reasons that authors write is to make a world where anything goes for them.
Yes.
So I've used content creating on multiple formats to do that. Like, I've written, I've drawn, I've done videos, I've made a podcast. So, yeah, I can definitely see how that is a valid point. And a lot of people use that content creating to maybe even bring attention to their problems.
Okay.
Like, for example, I did a entire video explaining my depression and shit.
That's the first thing I think of. Like, like, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, he's going to talk about the depression video now.
Yeah. And I say it every time, but I wish I could have done better on that video.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Not in a...
But that's just the normal
the limit.
Content creator thing, is, like, to judge your own work after you've done it.
Yeah.
But
I feel like if you don't judge your own shit, then what are you doing?
yeah, like, no one ever... Like, no one who creates content is ever completely satisfied with their work. And I've only ever... Well, it's very rare, at least, because I've only ever been able to do that once.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think of, like... Also, I think that if you look back at something you made, like, a year ago, and you're like, oh, that's bad, or like, oh, there's so many flaws with this, I think that shows
growth.
Exactly. It shows that you've progressed as a creator. So I think, like, when you were making your depression video, you were so proud of it then. But now you can look back and poke holes in it. Because you progressed so much. And you can see how your skills in certain parts of that video have grown so much that you could be like, oh yeah, I could have done that super easily and then improved upon it.
Yeah. And I even see that, like, as a writer now. Calling myself a writer.
Yeah, writers do it a lot, though.
Yeah, like, I started consistently writing probably, like, 8th or 9th grade. And me being an 11th grader now, I go back to that work and I'm like, holy fuck, this is ass.
Exactly. Well, do you want to hear a lick of advice? This is something Ernest Hemingway said. And I only learned about this and really memorized this quote fairly recently. The first draft of anything is always shit. And I think a lot of people, when creating content, put out the first or second draft.
Yeah.
Unless it is like a book or something they are so passionate about and puts hours and hours and hours, days and days into.
Maybe even months or years.
Exactly. Which is why I think at the time, to go back to your depression video, you were so proud of it because you did put a ton of time into that. Like, you put months, and truthfully, you put years in your own head, if that makes sense. Like, you put so many years of experience in that. As a video, though, this is gonna get maybe a little bit more emotional than I meant it to be, but I think since you are able to see the holes in that video, I think from an emotional standpoint, and this isn't really talking about content creating, but I think this is talking about you specific thing, that you being able to look at it as a video as opposed to an emotional experience for you is very interesting and fascinating, because it shows that you're not thinking about those sad things that happened. It shows that you have moved on and think more in a creative sense and don't look at the world as a depressing thing anymore. And this is, like I said, this isn't really content creating, but I think knowing that you look at that video as a video that you have made as opposed to an emotional, heart-wrenching experience. And sure, you maybe do see that as well. I think that shows growth in not only your skill, but also your emotions and your personality.
I can see that, and I appreciate that strong analysis of my video.
Of course, man. Love you, bro.
So, yeah, I mean, I forget exactly what your reason for making content was, but I appreciated the monologue.
As an escape. It was as an escape. And you were like, okay. Well, it can also enhance your current life.
Yeah. So, another reason why I make content is because ever since I was a kid, I always loved creating things in some degree. Like, there was a point in my life where I was like doing origami, which is
I wish I knew origami shit, because there's this one kid in my class in like 8th grade. Me and him would just always sit in the back, and he always made origami shit, and he like make stuff for me, and I was like, that's so cool.
I used to be really fucking good at it.
But I wish I could do it. A lot of people I know do it, or used to do it when they were like in 8th, like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Because it feels like a middle school thing, really, or weirdly. But man, I wish I did origami.
But anyway.
Yeah. But anyways.
And my earliest memory of creating things was I wrote like a short story, like book thing in like fucking 3rd grade, and it was ass. But
yeah,
like, yeah, and then like I feel like. I think my teacher read it to the class or some shit, and it was cringy as shit, but...
I mean, it probably was. But, like, you know. What are you going to do? You're in, like, 3rd grade.
Yeah. Handwriting is still as bad, but...
Same.
But, and then I started YouTube, like, 10 years ago.
Jesus Christ. You were 10? No, you were 7?
8.
Yeah, I was close. Fuck you.
Well, it was more like closer to 9 years, but you get the fucking point.
Okay.
And I was making like film props when I was a kid, just because.
I mean, hey, that's not a bad idea.
And even seeing what I'm doing today, that love for making things has never changed.
Yeah.
I mean, how I do it has changed, yeah, but like the general love for it has never changed.
The evolution of it has changed, you could say. You have evolved.
Yeah.
You've leveled up. So, boom. Yeah. Okay. I kind of did a lot of that shit too when I was a kid. Like, I made comic books. And I think I've thrown them all away. If I have any still, I'll try to keep it. But man, like, I can't draw. But like, I would always get fascinated with the story idea of it. Also, like, when I was like way little, I really liked Captain Underpants. So I was like, oh, making comic books. I think that's where I originally got the idea to do shit when I was like second grade. And then I kept doing it just in my spare time, and it was fun. Now it's like I could probably fucking write like a real comic book. At least compared to that shit. I can't draw. Still can't. It's horrible. You give me a circle to draw, I'm gonna give you a fucking triangle. So, yeah. But yeah, I used to do that stuff. I used to, write comic books. I used to just kind of write things. That's really what I did. I was just write stuff. Mainly. That's about it. Like, I can't draw. But yeah. So then when YouTube came along, I was like, oh, I could like write stories and shit. And that could be cool. And I never did. But, you know, it's what led me. Or like another factor that led me to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always been fascinated with, like, not just like writing things, but like learning how people make things. Like you were saying, like you would make film props. Whereas, you know, my mom and my grandma loved going to plays. So I would go to plays with them. And we would watch plays. And I would look up and look at the lights. And look at the stage. And look at the props and see how they made them. And like, Spider-Man 2 is one of my favorite movies. Because of the fucking special features. Because I can remember.
The special effects, you mean?
No, the special features on the DVD.
Oh.
Because when I watched the DVD, I would always go to the special features. And that's where like, for a time, I really loved owning the DVD because I could get the special features and watch how people made them. And I used to do that with, like, my old Batman animated series DVDs when I had, like, asthma as a kid. And I would go to... There's a correlation in my mind with the asthma thing. That might be a different podcast thing. There's a correlation with that.
I watched Batman the Animated Series because I couldn't breathe.
No, actually, you're not wrong. Like, I would watch the DVDs as, like, I was taking...
I watched Batman because I thought I could become Batman if I couldn't breathe.
No, asshole. Like, it would be... Because we had, like... We called it a breathing treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
That's what they're called.
Okay, well, I didn't know if it was actually called that. But it's, like, this loud-ass machine. And as, like, a 4-year-old, I'm, like, sitting there with my fucking, you know, 4-year-old energy. And so I just watched Batman the Animated Series. Like, over and over again. Like, I have, like, 5 DVDs of, like, the series. And I just watched the hell out of them, the special features. But anyways, back to the Spider-Man thing. That's why I love Spider-Man so much. And this... Because I would just watch the special features and find out, like, how they kind of... Like, the behind-the-scenes stuff of that movie. So, yeah. So, when, you know... YouTube stuff came along, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That why I would love doing that. Because I love watching how people make stuff. And then, so making my own stuff seems interesting.
Okay. I'm very much the same way. I remember when I was a little kid, the earliest memory I have of watching a movie, like behind the scenes, was Ghostbusters. My DVD of it had that. So
yeah, and most DVDs used to have that, and that's a sad thing about the streaming services that we all have now, is that we don't get the behind the scenes anymore. With the DVD, it doesn't feel special.
Yeah, and I've always been infatuated with how things are made, and I've loved making content just to know how everyone does it. Like, like the learning experience that I have gone through doing it myself. I love every part of that. Like from being that little rookie from Movie Maker
Yeah.
to now being able to do so much shit on editing.
Mm-hmm.
It like that entire learning curve for me, I love so much. And me being the thumbnail maker person that I am now, I loved every minute of learning that. And just every part of the learning part of film or writing or whatever, I love so much. And that's why I tend to look in depth with movies. Like, I wonder how they did that thing, or I wonder what the mindset of that actor was when they were acting, or whatever. I love every minute of that.
Wow. I didn't think about the actual learning of stuff. That's interesting. Like, I guess I do love learning cool stuff to an extent.
I mean, I hope you would. You fucking go to college for like a film thing.
Yeah. Well, it's not for film. It's for like editing, which is different. Kinda. Not really.
And to be honest, if I were to go to college, which I'm fucking not, but if I were, it would be for film.
Yeah. That would make sense for you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that really fascinated me, the learning thing. Because I didn't think about that.
I could tell. Like, the faces you were making were like, wow.
Yeah, I know. Because I was like, wow, I never really thought about like how much I love learning about that stuff. But I do. Like, I don't hate it. I never really thought about like I never go out of my way to learn editing and video making stuff. It's just, if a problem arises, I go out and learn it. It's like problem, solution. It's never a bunch of shit and then I already have the solution. But that's how I always learn stuff, is I don't see the importance of something until I'm faced with it. So when I like would go to school, I would fucking hate it because I would always be like, well, I don't need this shit. No one around me needs this shit. None of the adults I know needs this shit. Why do I need this shit? And then I would get super mad at it. And I'd be like, this is a fucking waste. Like, that is the number one reason why I graduated a year before. And I know I could have gotten more credits, and that could have helped me probably further on in my college career. I just got the bare minimum and fucking left a year early. Because I was like, there's no need for this shit. I don't need it. No one I know needs it. Fuck this shit. But, so I'm a very what's the problem? Figure out the solution kind of person. So when making content, it's always a problem solution thing. Or it's always a question answer thing. Or it's always a 2 plus X equals 4 thing. Whether it be
X equals 2.
Holy shit. Whether it be trying to think of a question to then dive into, then to go on to try to figure out the answer for it. Like my current most recent video as is being filmed, not to date it, but my Captain America video where I ask why he's able to hold Mjolnir. So it's like I had to think of the question, and then I had to go on and bury myself in articles and in fucking the movies themselves, the MCU movies, to figure out the answer. But yeah. So that's what I get out of making content, I guess.
Okay. Another reason that I like making content is I'm gonna mix two reasons together.
Okay.
Because that's just kind of they kind of go hand in hand. I like trying to entertain people in any way that I can. And I will do anything for a laugh.
Damn.
And
I could roast you so hard right now.
Oh, I know. But that just goes beyond content creating. That's just the lifestyle I live, where I will do anything for a laugh. Like, I literally sent you an ass pic while I was recording this podcast just to get you to laugh.
Oh, dude, and trust me, I not only laughed, but I was hella hard by the end of it.
And the entire origin story of that ass pic was to make someone laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know, it's just... I like making people smile.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how I do it. If it takes a racist joke, I will do it.
Of course.
See?
Of course you would. Fuck you. Of course you would, though. But that brings... Okay, so that brings out an interesting question.
Hit me.
When... Hit me. When you make anything and you want someone to laugh at that thing, do you want to be the person delivering the joke, or do you want to be the person behind who actually made the joke?
I guess it depends on the situation.
Like, if you said some... I'm going to relate this to movies. People know Jim Carrey. He's a funny person, right? But, like, most of his funny shit is pre-written for him. So, he's known as being the funny guy, not the writer or director or whoever. So, do you want to be the Jim Carrey, or do you want to be the guy who actually fucking wrote it?
That's kind of a hard question because, like, it depends on if it was an original joke and if it was a good joke.
Oh, well,
or a racist joke.
If it was your joke.
Because if it's a racist joke, then I obviously want to be the guy behind it. I don't want to come off as racist. I mean, I'm not, but...
Nah, dude. I want the Klansmen to know I came up with this. But why I asked that is because I think if you have that kind of answer, then that goes a long way in knowing how you want to make content. Because there's a million ways to say I make content. Directors make content, but they're not in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So knowing how you want to make content specifically will impact how you want to move on with your own career and ambitions. Also, you say that you write a lot, right? I think that entails to me that you but you want to be the guy who wrote it more than you want to be the guy who's known for it or has said it.
Debatable.
Like, I think this is just me. It's just me. Take it with a grain of salt. But I think knowing you and your videos and how you make videos, if you had a team of people who were making it with you and you were just kind of writing for it and directing it as opposed to being in front of the camera and actually doing it all, I feel like you would get a lot more joy out of it.
That's kind of an interesting analysis.
Yeah.
Because I personally think in my videos, I would much rather be the person telling the joke. But I might be completely wrong.
You think you would rather be the Jim Carrey?
When it comes to physical, like, altercation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man, that dude.
Like
that dude
in
is
a video,
skinny.
I want to be the person telling the joke. In writing, that might be a different story.
So you believe that you would rather?
Like,
I'm sorry, you go.
like for example, every time I write something in English class, I try to make it as entertaining for the reader as possible. Because I know that reader is the teacher, and she goes through so much ass. And I look at it as like giving her a good moment of the day. Because like there's so much shitty writing that she has to go through. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Hundreds of kids just writing shitty essays or shitty whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I just want to be that person who's like, damn, that was really good. That gave me a laugh.
Okay. I don't think that directly relates to how I was phrasing my question, but I do know what you mean in that direction then. But yeah, like you say it like that, like you immediately in your head relate it to writing in your class. You don't immediately relate the idea of making someone laugh directly to you being in front of the camera and making your own videos.
If we're going to a video standpoint, then...
Yeah, like I'm talking videos, like making content, making videos. Making things visually.
In the visual aspect of things, I write knowing that I'm going to be telling the joke. So...
But do you see that as a boundary? Because you... Okay. Like, I will write things in my videos, or just writing, knowing that I'm going to say them, knowing that how I speak, knowing how I talk. However, if I was to write for someone else, I don't know if that would end up being a boundary.
I don't think it shows as a boundary for me. I mean, I write jokes that I know I think are funny, and jokes that I feel like I would tell if I wasn't writing them.
So you think... I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. Like, you think you would rather be the Jim Carrey then, in most situations?
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
So, like, you would rather be known for the joke?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was asking.
A fucking 20-minute analysis of if I'm Jim Carrey or not.
No. Are you Jim Carrey? You just rip off a mask, like the green mask. It was me all along. I'm Jim Carrey.
I wish I was Jim Carrey.
Dude, me too, man. He's like rich and like skinny.
Yeah, and he's got them pearly whites.
But yeah. Okay. Because I always thought of you... Like, you shock me in certain ways. Like, you used to be... do in a play. Like, you were doing plays for your school. And you would act in them, I think.
Yeah.
That shocked me. Because I didn't see you as the guy who acts and plays. I saw you as the guy writing for the play. But hey, if you think otherwise, prove me wrong. Go for it. I can see you doing that as well. I just did not...
I'm a jack of all trade, master of none.
Yeah, I guess. But like with me, I wouldn't... I would say I make the videos, but only because I don't have anybody else to make the videos with. Like, I'd much rather write the video.
I can see that. Knowing you.
Like, I feel like I have gained a certain on-camera charisma to... Just because I've done it for so long, making videos and making stuff.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to actually sitting down and writing and planning out and things and going beat by beat and how things are going to go, I think I find more joy in that. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Okay, and sorry if you hear my mouse, but this was like a few months ago when I did this, so I have to go back into it. I think it was like 1 a.m. on December 20th. I know that because it says December 20th in the doc. I'm kidding. I'm just amazing. So I started writing this like script. Like not even a script, like an idea. Like I just wrote down an idea and I started really loving the idea and I got really into it. Like it was a whole idea about like a comic book. And I don't want to say too much because if it ever does happen, I don't want people to fucking steal it. Like
I think legally, if you say you're in the act of doing it, then that's like verbally patenting it.
I'm not 100% sure about that, so I'm just not going to. But I know what you mean. Like I had a whole script for a comic book about like super humans, like a world full of them, and how it affects certain people who may not have them.
Like X-Men?
Backwards. Everybody's X-Men.
Oh, God.
Except for X-Men. Like, X-Men in the situation have no superpowers.
And then the Thing's just like, thank God.
First off, the Thing is from Fantastic Four. So shut the fuck up.
Fuck!
Beast? Are you talking about the Beast? Blue guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just really showed my nerd.
Yeah, I know. So I had like a whole idea, and I got real into it. Like I have a whole fucking like page and a half of it right here. Well, it's like a page. Yeah, I have like a page. And like there was all these like little Easter eggs like already in it, and so I think the idea of writing it down and going through this whole world is so much more interesting than the idea of sitting down and making the movie make about it and being a part of it and being an actor in it and being someone so involved in it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I can see that.
And maybe it's just because like that's so different than what I usually do in my time. Like I don't typically go out and make worlds, you know. I get the Infinity Gauntlet and snap them away. God, talk about
so dumb. I hate
talk
you.
about showing your nerd, man. Like I
hate you so much.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I always find writing down the idea to me is more fun or more like I have to do this than making the video.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that being a thing for you because knowing you for so long, it seems that you're always way more excited to write a video than you are to make the video. Mm-hmm. And I'm way the opposite. Mm-hmm. Well, no, I'm not.
I think it's more like you love the idea of making the video if you did it. If that makes any sense.
I think so, yeah.
Like if you had the budget to do what you really want to do, you're so much more excited to do it. Or you have everything you need to do it. That's why you are always... I think that's why I always get a little annoyed with you when you say something like... Okay, like say you don't have like a green screen and you have this really cool idea for a green screen. And you're just like, damn it, I need the green screen to do it. Yeah. Whereas I'm always like, no, dude, just don't use the green screen. Think of how else you could do it. You know, write your way out of it, as opposed to you being like, I fucking need it to do it.
I like how you make it sound so intense, like I fucking need it.
I know. But
you sound like a fucking meth addict.
Yeah, but it's just like you
like I need the meth.
Absolutely. But like, that's why I'm always like, you don't need XYZ to do this. Like, you would be like, I want to make gaming videos. And I would be like, and you'd be like, oh man, I really need this, this, and this. And I'm like, no, dude, what you got is okay. Like, just do it. And you're just like, no, I need this, because you think about the on-screen presence of it so much that you want everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I'm just like,
and that's more of a mental thing for me, because when I think of a video, I think of every aspect of the video in my head. Like, I can see how the video looks in my head.
and I kind of do that to an extent, but I do that in a way different way than you do. Like, we've talked about this in terms of like how we write scripts for things in our off mic time, where I'd be like, I'm writing the script with the edits in it.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll have... Whereas, like, a normal script wouldn't have all the editor's notes in it. But I think
it depends on who's writing the script, but sometimes they do.
Like, I write the script with each camera cut. So each line of dialogue, I click enter. That's the camera cut. Jump to the next shot of, like, me moving in the screen, or me knowing that I can't say the super long piece of dialogue. Like, sometimes I have, like, 3 to 4 lines of words for the script, or 3 or 4 lines of sentences or whatever. But, like, I want it all in one shot, and then I'm like, fuck. Because, like, I know I can't memorize all that exactly. Because, to me, it's important to make it exact. Because that's how I wrote it. As opposed to you, where you're like...
By the way, a shortcut to that is I found a teleprompter app on my phone.
Yeah.
Where you can, like, teleprompt the lines, and it slowly scrolls.
I know, but it's different because you do a lot of your stuff in front of a desk. Whereas I wouldn't be able to see the teleprompter. Clearly, without, like, my glasses. And then I'm like, oh, but the glasses get messed up by, like, the light.
Well, my current setup, I have a green screen. Like, people can't see me, but it's, like, over there.
Okay. Like, in the corner of the room.
So, yeah. So, I kind of have to, like, be up. So, I just got a teleprompter app on my phone. And then I, like, clip the phone onto my tripod. And then, yeah.
I can't do that. I can't figure out how to do that. The clipping of my phone on the thing. But anyway, so God, there's so much to that whole fucking sentence that we were just saying. So yeah, so I think. So what I was gonna say is, I think it's more important for me to do it as I wrote it, whereas you are like. It's more important to make it interesting, even if I have to think of it on the spot.
I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Like, when I'm... Like, there are... Like, okay, so, like, with my particular style of videos, I find it difficult for me to find out how to end it. Because I don't... Like, I have, like, the last thing I say... fade to black, and then, like, the end slate. With, like, my voice already overdubbed it. I find ending it before the fade out difficult. So, like...
But that's just because the style of your videos doesn't necessarily call for a set up intro. Or not intro, outro. Like, where it's, like, the same thing every time. Like, it like, depends on your video what the outro is going to be for that video, and then it cuts to the end slate.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean. Because, like, what you're trying to say is everything is unique to the last thing I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is difficult to find out a unique way to do it. So anyways, so what I was leaning that into was sometimes I'll say it and then I'm like, oh, that was shit. And then I'll fucking open the app on my phone again, delete that line, and then I have to write down the line. I just got to. It's more important for me to write that line down before saying it than just ad-libbing something. Because if I ad-lib something, it's kind of obvious sometimes. And so I'm just like, it's more important to do it as written.
I think that's just where it's different for me is like when I was in drama, I sort of learned how to shut up.
Sorry.
I sort of learned how to ad-lib things and role play and
kinky.
Fuck off. No, there's a word that I'm thinking of, like where like you act on the spot.
Yeah, you ad-lib. Yeah, it's a comedian thing.
Yeah.
We'll continue.
Yeah, you get.
I'm gonna Google it.
So, I want to say it's role playing, but
no, it's not role play. I know what you're trying to say.
Anyway, I learned how to do that, and so that's why it's kind of easier for me to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, I'm looking it up because it's gonna piss me off. I can't figure it out.
I have a skill set in that where sometimes it's beneficial for me to just ad-lib things.
Yeah, exactly, because you see... Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, is that because it's more important for me to write the thing, whereas you don't particularly have to write it, you just have to make it interesting and entertaining, even if it doesn't call for what you wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, we
got this.
Anyway,
we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, I realized that, like,
words.
Because I was realizing, like, wow, this got so off of why do we make content. It turns out how do we make content. Bro, mind blown. But yeah, do you have anything else written down?
Yeah, another reason I make content is because it gives me this weird accomplishment feel.
Okay.
Like I feel accomplished every time I make something, whether it be finishing a story that I've written or finishing a video and uploading it. It just makes me feel accomplished that I finally did that thing that I've been thinking about for maybe weeks to months to at some points years.
Yeah.
And it just tickles my fancy.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tickle your fancy.
Are you still
improv?
Improv, that's what it is.
Because I looked up like ad lib and I was like, that's not the word though. Yeah, it's improv. Thank you. So I can move on now. What were you saying? You were saying stuff.
You weren't even listening to me.
Dude, I was so into the what is it?
It makes me feel accomplished.
Yes, accomplished.
In a weird way.
Yes. I get that too. I think a lot of people get that because it's like you finished a project.
Yeah, and also I didn't want to say this just because it's like so cliche, but also like the interaction I get after making it, which is very fucking rare.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do, it feels nice.
Yeah, I don't get that. Fuck those people. No, I get that.
Oh, speaking of interaction, as a quick segue, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the podcast.
Well, I was gonna mention it at the end.
Oh well, the TalkingForNobodyPodcast has an official subreddit. The link's in the description.
Is it?
On the YouTube video.
See, you gotta have that specification because we had that problem last episode when I tried to do the outro.
Yeah, but for people that are not listening on the YouTube, it is r/TFNPC.
Yeah, as in capital T, capital F, capital N, capital P, capital C.
Yeah.
But anyways, so
yeah.
Moving on. The satisfaction you were getting. I felt like we just had a really cheap plug, but whatever. So, back to the satisfaction. I think...
Hold on. I need to continue my plug real quick.
Oh my fucking...
There you can talk to each other. You can talk about the previous episode that you have listened to and your thoughts about it.
Or talk for nobody. Got him.
Ha 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 ha. And you can also give us topic ideas or recommendations or whatever the fuck. And whatever you want us to talk about, we're down. We can talk about anal if you want.
I hate you. Have I mentioned I hate you recently? Because I hate you. So, satisfaction.
And you can talk to us personally.
Boy.
Alright, go ahead now.
God damn. I'm not getting satisfied. But so satisfaction, guaranteed. Anal. No. Look, you said anal, man. That was out there in the open. Your asshole was out there in the open for the world to see. So, satisfaction. I think it is like an addiction.
In a weird way, yes.
It's like I got the project done. In that way. I'll say the interaction is great, obviously. We love people. It is like a thing that like you can feed off of.
Yeah.
As an attention slut does. But I think the idea of like I finished this project and I finished it. I did it. I did this whole I wrote this whole script. I recorded this whole video. I edited it. I spent hours and hours on this one thing and I'm so proud of it. And then you go to upload it, you write the description, you write the tags, you make the thumbnail, not to just relate this to YouTube, but it's in general. And then it's posted for the world to see. You're like, I did it. And maybe this is just me, but it's like, I did it, I can move on. Because I got that idea out there. You know, that's 100% me. You know, and then, you know, the comments are always great, you know, like getting interaction from people who like it. It's always a good thing. It's what fuels me some of the time. Like currently as I'm recording this, DJ videos I'm not super into. Not that I don't love making those videos, but I will say that and this isn't me bitching about like, oh, no one watches it, no one likes it and comments on it and stuff. But I will admit that like sometimes when there's no comments or barely any comments, it sucks.
And I'm kind of feeling the same way too. Like, I very rarely get any comments.
Except for your boy.
I'm not bitching about that. It's just facts. Mm-hmm. And like, I understand why, but
yeah. So like,
it would probably help if I did it more, but
yeah, exactly. So it is difficult to be like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it demotivates you, but you lose motivation. Because, like, you probably have, like, a base motivation level, right? Mm-hmm. To make something. But if nothing happens with it, if there's no interaction with it, you might, like, lose that, like... You don't get that extra oomph of motivation.
Yeah. Actually, this brings on a side story where... It's gotten to the point now where, like, I love reading comments on videos so much that I read other people's comments.
Oh my god, you do it so much. It's a little weird sometimes. Like, I'll be like we would, like, watch a video together. And then, like, we'd watch the whole thing. I was like, oh yeah, that was good. And then, like, I'd move on and play, like, a game or something. And you just sit there, like, I'm reading the comments.
It's low-key an addiction.
It's weird, man. I mean... Like, I would read them a little bit with you, just because, like, some of them can be funny. But then it's like, I leave. And then, like, after, like, 10 minutes, I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm reading the comments. I'm like, Still?
Yeah, man, I love reading comments.
Yeah, dude. It was like, I love reading.
I actually do love reading.
Wow. That is not the same Brandon. That's character development. Because that's not the same Brandon I knew when I was a kid.
Yeah. What I learned from reading, or what I learned from writing, is that I also love reading.
I don't get that. That's something I never get. This is kind of on the same topic.
Like I personally would rather listen to an audiobook than read the book.
Yeah.
But, like, I'll take time to read the book if I have to.
Yeah, I'm like the same way. It's like, it's not the story that I'm turned off by. It's the medium it's developed through.
Yeah, it takes so much damn time to read.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not that good of a reader. No, I'm kidding. I'm a great reader. I know so many words.
You said that, like, with the same swagger that, like, a dude who thinks he has a big dick says. Like, oh yeah, I'm great at sex.
I thought you were gonna say, like, some stupid shit.
Oh, that wasn't stupid shit. But yeah, so fuck, I was about to go on a whole tangent, and then you cut me off. You were saying what were you just saying before?
I'm a great reader.
No, before that.
Hold on, cut back 15 minutes later when I couldn't think of the word improv.
Yeah, right. You were talking about writing. You were talking about.
I'd rather.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Listen to an audiobook.
No. You were saying how you like to read, and you learn that through writing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that. Like, I make videos about things that I don't actively watch other people make videos on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, I make videos about, like, superhero movies, but I don't go out of my way to watch people who make those kind of videos.
Yeah.
Like, I might have done that before I started making those videos, but then, yeah.
It's different with videos than it is with writing, because in order to be a good writer, you need to be a good reader.
Mm-hmm.
But in the aspect of watching videos, you just need to be good at making videos, not be good at watching videos.
Yeah. Like, but I think I think my point also applies to writing stuff. Like, when I write something, I don't go out of my way to read something similar to see how I feel afterwards, if that makes sense. Like,
it's more of like a learning vocabulary thing for writing. It's not necessarily like...
Okay, let's talk about just plot. I'm talking just plot stuff. Like,
mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back to the thing I was talking about before, the comic book thing that I was thinking of. With the, like, reverse X-Men thing. I don't go out and try to find other stories similar to that. I instead ask other people opinions about it.
Mm-hmm.
I rely, in that sense, on peer review.
I just realized the opposite of X-Men is semen.
Did you just look at your keyboard and see what's next to the
No.
X?
No, I was like, XYZ was the third letter in the alphabet, C. Ha!
I hate you. Fucking... I can't even go on with my point now. You just ruined my whole life. Okay, so, like... But I think in, like, certain aspects, I rely on peer review on it. Which is why I think of comments as that extra motivator. Because if I don't have the extra motivator, then it's like, fuck, I'm doing something wrong. Or I'm not getting that peer review. XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm not always, like, pushing you to watch my videos. But I'm like, hey, I uploaded a new video, and I would like to hear what you think of it. You know? Or like I'm in the middle of writing something, I'm like, hey, I need your opinion on this. And then we exchange like back and forth about it or whatever. Or you just listen to me and go, most of the time. Like a douche.
Which I noticed I do that on the podcast a lot, and I need to stop because it's not good for listening.
I think it's more like you're listening as opposed to like going back and forth. I don't know. I feel like it's more like you're listening, but whatever. Anyways, so anything else about why we make content, why you make content in particular that I can piggyback off of?
No, actually.
Okay, good. Well, okay. So what did we learn? We learned that we make content for reasons.
Yes.
For learning things, is what you were saying before?
That wasn't the main one that I was...
I know, but it was a sub thing that I thought was interesting. The whole you learning how to make content is an interesting thing. We make content because we're attention sluts.
And we confirmed that.
Oh yeah, we confirmed.
I couldn't think of the word confirmed, but we confirmed that by looking for the definition of attention or slut.
Yeah, exactly. We figured out what improv was. And we also learned that we have a Reddit now. The Reddit TFNPC subreddit thing. I don't know Reddit enough to fucking do this plug, but you did it earlier for me, so I don't give a fuck. So, yeah. Anything else you want to wrap it up with before we head into the outro?
No.
Beautiful. So, if you guys liked this conversation, if you guys liked what all the content that we make, and why we make them, and how we make them, maybe you want to actually watch that content. You can go and watch it on our YouTube channels. Mine is DJ, just DJ. You can search for it better if you search how to make a good Superman film. It's like one of the first things. It's like a blue background. Whatever. I know it's a generic ass name. Fuck off. You can also subscribe to Brandon, who has a way more unique name, which is Toxic Rain TV. 2 eyes in the toxic and the rain. So it's ToxicRainTV. And then you can also follow us on Twitter. His is, again, at Toxic Rain TV. I'm not going to spell it out again. Mine is at DJ on the computer. And yeah, that's about it. And thank you.
Wait, is it DJ on the computer or is it DJ on the PC?
On Twitter, it's DJ on the computer.
Oh, okay.
On Twitch, it's DJ on the PC. Thanks for the plug. Or on DLive. Or on YouTube also. I get around. Anyways.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you very much for watching. And hopefully we were not talking for nobody. I don't know why I just winked at you. But okay.
Okay. Bye, bitches.
Okay. Bye, Beckheads.